The fissures are dangerous. In fact, they had just recovered a couple that had fallen in there in like 1918. They didn't survive, and but they were like frozen in time. Yeah, no, can you believe it? They lived 102 years in a glacier off of snow. No, like they were perfectly preserved because of the cold. And so if you're ever wondering why you have to stay on the path, they were quick to remind you that in 100 years, they could find you.
Dude, this is non-stop action with like a whole lot of heart. I was tired for you guys watching this movie, and you guys have both done some pretty high intensity stuff before, but I mean, this project, how did it compare to some of your previous projects? Because it really felt, as a viewer, it felt like it was non-stop.
Yeah, there's a lot of action in this film, and it really goes. There's a lot of story as well. For the 2-hour film, there is a great deal of story being told, so it does really move at a pretty fast clip. And once we kick it into high gear to start the chapter of the story that takes place in 2051, it's really nonstop until the end of the movie. So, in comparing to previous films, I've done a lot of running in films and running away from monsters in films. There was a lot of that. Usually with those films, there is a slightly larger ensemble, so I'm not in every frame running away from monsters. So in this one, I was in a lot of it.
Yeah.
So the workload was amped up. It was like sprint pace, but a marathon long race.
Yeah. Indeed. I mean, it's an epic film. So, you know, when you have such a large stage to play on, you got to bring it.
Yeah, and someone who definitely brings it is J.K. Simmons, who I love watching in everything. Like, I could watch him just sit and breathe and I would be entertained. But he is so jacked in this movie. I like love his acting skills, but he came on screen and I was like, oh, amazing, J.K. And then I was like, whoa, J.K. But Chris, what was it like to have the one and only J.K. Simmons playing your dad?
It was amazing. My favorite part of these films is always the relationships that you form with people. I just love him so much as a human being. We had an incredible time. He's so immensely talented and just so generous and nice.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, he's an Oscar winner and he's got the pedigree and the resume and decades of success.
In the body of a 30-year-old.
And you're right, he's freaking jacked.
Like, bodybuilder. He's
when you work with someone like JK, you're a fool to not just sit back, watch, and learn.
Indeed.
And he's so generous and so giving, and you know, other people in the same position aren't for some reason, and he is. So he's a great example that if anyone ever finds the level of success that he's found, to remain humble and kind and giving and nice and generous, and he's immensely talented. It was great.
Amazing. Now, shooting with J.K. Simmons, I'm sure was fantastic, but shooting on a glacier in Iceland was probably also very cool, no pun intended. That just, visually, this film is just, it's breathtaking for so many reasons, but getting to learn about the fact that this was a glacier in Iceland that not many people, I don't think anyone had ever shot there before, I learned. Like, what was the highlight of that experience for you?
The highlight for me was actually seeing the Aurora Borealis out there. That was a bucket list item for myself, and I got to scratch it off. So with that in play, glaciers, it's one of the natural wonders of the world, you know, how they're formed and built and so forth. And, you know, being able to just kind of experience that and be on top of it and ride through it. And, you know, we were snowmobiling on top of a glacier. Like it was crazy. But at the same time, you know, it's very dangerous. You know, there's fissures and things of that nature that we had to, you know, be mindful of. But it's an experience that we are afforded, you know, because we get to do what we do. You know, we have to appreciate it and know that we are blessed.
Yeah, there was a moment with Chris McKay at the top of the glacier, our director, and he's just holding a camera on his shoulder, and he was like, "This is what I got into this for." Yeah. That we're up on a glacier in the middle of Iceland, making a movie. This is so cool. This is so cool.